Good morning, YouTube. Okay, we are back. We are back for another episode. I'm actually going to be taking you through today a day in the reverse, but I'm not just going to be showing you like my food, my training. I will actually be filming my training as well, but I'm also going to be breaking down why I'm reversing at 6 weeks out from my final show, the positives of that, but also the maybe, I'm not going to call them negatives, but the challenges that come with it as well. So it is Thursday, the 23rd of October. It's actually 7:53. So we got up this morning, I did my own check-in. I have already had a client, so I'm just eating meal one now. It is up a day, and I'm actually 2 days out from my next show. So meal one is 2 eggs, 100 egg white,
150.
chef?
150
egg white, 100 veg, 100 blueberries, and how much potato?
100 potato.
And 100 potato. So I'm going to dig into this now. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you my meals. I'm going to do the macro breakdown, how much the food has increased over this week. I am in day 8 of my reverse. I'm also going to be talking through the comparisons of when I started the reverse to now, weight changes, spoiler alert, there's none, and going through a day in the life. So buckle in and enjoy. Oh, you're still filming?
I was counting you eat. 2 clips.
No problem, thanks, my G.
Okay, so plan of action for today. I've just got a bit of client work to catch up on, and then we'll be eating at around just after 9, getting in the gym for around 10, and it is my last training session before I step on stage. Now this is something that I wanted to touch upon, simply because I think a lot of people train in their peak weeks and in their preps, they train for the pump. They train for kind of like, oh, well, I'm at the end of prep, so I'm just going to kind of get this over with. Something that has been a massive priority for me, and I feel why I have maintained my tissue and also fullness, the look, like that, I say hardness, natty hardness, to the degree that I've managed to. I am treating my training sessions exactly like I would do in off season, but I'm doing 1 to 2 reps in reserve. Reps in reserve training, without signing up myself, is a skill, and it is something that is, again, a lot of the time treated as a bit of a meh session. People go into the session with a very different headspace. What you'll potentially notice, I go into my sets with the exact same kind of energy, with the exact same focus that I would do if I was taking it to full failure. That allows me to be able to dictate my actual true failure. If you're going into your sets thinking, oh yeah, like I'll stop when it starts to hurt, that's not 2 reps in reserve. If anything, like we all know the set starts when it starts to hurt, and true failure is, well, there's multiple ways to determine true failure, but mechanical failure, what I aim for, I stop 1 to 2 reps shy of that. Why 1 to 2? On my bigger movements, on the movements that potentially are going to take more out from me, so let's say like an incline Smith press, then I would do 2 reps in reserve because I can grind out a rep easily. I say easily. I can grind out a rep, and that's not going to give me. I'm a grinder, but that's not going to give me the kind of stimulus that I want this close to show. So that would be 2 reps in reserve. However, a dumbbell lateral, if I'm doing 1 rep in reserve, that's not going to take too much away from me. That's not going to ruin the look. It's not going to cause too much inflammation. So that is something that is really important. And yeah, again, I feel that has allowed me to maintain like a really nice look show to show. My physique doesn't look tired. So I am very excited to train, that's for sure. And then when I get back, well, then I'm getting a little eyelash touch up. This has been game changing for me this season. So girlies, like eyelashes are probably the one thing that I actually hate doing myself. On show day, it causes stress. I do my own hair, tan, makeup. Well, Nat does my tan, but I do my own hair and makeup. But putting on eyelashes is just difficult. These are 30 pounds. And they last 2 weeks, where I got them done last Wednesday, and they say if you want to pop back in next week, then you can. So in essence, I've only lost maybe like 1 or 2 on this one side. So I'm just going to pop in for like 5 minutes and get 1 or 2 pop back on. And it's just been incredible, really, really buzzing. And then we've actually got like some normal life stuff to do. We're going to go to the tip. As house renos are still going down. Yes, obviously a little bit slower. And then I am in client calls from 2:30 till 6. So it's a pretty like normal day for me. Crash bang wall up in the background. Yeah, I'll show you a little bit of the studio later, as I do have it in person as well. And then of course I'll be doing base coat number 1, which if you don't know why I do that at 2 days out, go watch the Skin Prep YouTube, and you can find some kind of more information about that there. But yeah, gonna dive into work, and then I will go into kind of the reverse side of things and the comparison when I'm eating my pre-meal. We got Marky Mark on the YouTube in the background. I have a blanket because I'm always cold. So pre-workout meal is going down, and this is 75 raw weight rice, 98 chicken, 100 berries, and 20 dark chocolate. 15 dark chocolate. So this is going down. So I do want to speak about now like the process in general, because we're now 8 days into the reverse, not a week, but a week to week. So last Wednesday when I started to yesterday, which was the Wednesday, I was exactly the same weight. So food went up. Actually, I can get the thing where I spoke about my exact food, because I wrote it all down. You might have to crop a bit. Sorry, babe. So oh no. Yeah, you're gonna have to crop it quite a bit.
Remember you wrote it out, because you had all the macros and calories on that. Is it the start to the end? I'm ready to check on this once fat loss is done.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got my phone because I wanted to have a couple of notes to be able to like get things right. But so last Wednesday to this Wednesday, so a week into the reverse. It's now a day later, so 8 days. But I'm gonna take it just as that week because it's like a nice kind of summary, I guess, to go off. So I started the reverse going from 20k steps. Training day, 177 protein, 202 carb, 41 fat. Non-training day, 162 protein, 37 carb, 47 fat. To 10k steps, and then training day, 190 protein, 297 carb, 51 fat. Non-training day, 183 protein, 195 carb. That is 160 carb increase on a non-training day, and 64 fat. So since then, within that week, my weight has stayed the same. That being said, the changes, like why you would do a reverse and things like that, I am leaner and I am fuller. Fullness obviously typically requires a scale bump, so the fact that my weight is the same just kind of backs that. So positives, go on.
I mean, the caveat to you being leaner and fuller is that you're in shape to start with. You can't reverse unless you're actually in shape first.
Yeah, that is a really important factor, because, you know, a lot of people think that, oh, why do I not reverse into, or why doesn't everyone reverse into their shows if that is the case?
Fat.
It's because you do have to get to a certain point. The reason why we did reverse is simply because if we tried to drive just fat loss in general more and more, the look wouldn't improve. If anything, it would drastically get worse. So that is the point that we are at. Now, my training, having more food and the amount of more food as well, not just on the training days, but obviously the rest days, I'm able to recover better for starters. So my training has actually improved. Tuesday's legs, 5 plates per side, top set on the pivot, which was actually more than when I started prep. Obviously I have been lifting that throughout prep, but I did drop to like 4.5, even 4 at one point, just to kind of within peak week training and things.
Credit where it's due, you've actually maintained and improved on training performance across all sessions for 95% of prep.
Yeah, so now that I have got that little bit of extra food, my training's only going to get better.
It's not like you're trying to return to what you had in off season because you've held or improved on it. You're now progressing again from when you were, 15, 16, 18 kilos heavier?
Yeah, which is pretty mental. Obviously, because of being leaner and fuller, my body's come to life. Now, this is something that you described really, really well, by being a consistent baseline of calories, instead of how when you have to usually peak, where you do like different approaches of like the linear loads or etc. You described how the fact that now it's a consistent baseline of food, because of almost like my immature muscle and mature muscle, when I do a normal peak, that food will almost immediately go to like my legs, for example, won't it?
Do you want me to talk through?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Louder.
so with Hannah's physique, obviously the majority of progress this last off season that was made was through her upper body, top line, arms, delts, all that kind of thing. So that muscle is newer. Her quads and lower have always been extremely dominant. So what we usually see whenever you load someone, or like carb load them to fill them out, when you initially give them that bolus load of carbs, it's going to go to the more dominant body part first. So every time we've seen how to fill, it's gone, oh my god, my legs are alive, but my upper's still flat. To then get the upper to fill out, you almost have to mildly spill the legs for it to then decide to shift upward, which then brings a worse look, because we know that you don't look good bursting full. So what we've seen now is, because Hannah's had such a consistent baseline of carbs, it's not been a bolus load or a depletion or anything like that. There's been an even saturation top to bottom.
Yeah.
So the condition, the fullness, top to bottom has been a good equal look, and there's been no diminished body parts from it.
Yeah, and I mean, Nat will put up some photos on the screen. My upper body, I can't get over it. I feel like my lats and my delts have just gone, yeah.
It was your front lat spread.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's been so interesting.
Like skin texture as well. So as I've seen Hannah obviously get leaner, I've been looking for like key markers of flatness and things like that. And
The only couple that, not the only couple, but the only industry where a couple someone going like this to their partner is a good
totally
thing.
Fine. So when Hannah does a transition to the rear and she moves her almost like scapula together, where her lats finish and her erectors begin, if she's flat, there's a load of skin folds there.
It literally looks like fat, doesn't it? But it's not.
Just rolls
it's
of
just,
skin.
Yeah.
And then when her upper body isn't flat and it's fresh, or even if she's not flat, but if you're just fatigued, the same thing happens.
Yeah.
So with her being fresher from doing less steps and eating more and being fuller, the skin across her back is consistently tight, and that hasn't taken away from the lower, and it's just a very cool combination because it's like you got hamstring tie-in, adductor, glute lines, and then your mid-back is still prominent, and your back is obviously one of your strongest body parts.
Yeah. And then I guess the other aspect to even, I say touch upon, probably one of the best parts about reversing into like a season is the fact that in essence post-show is going to be easier because I'm basically doing post-show now. So you may have heard a lot of people discuss how post-show can be really difficult, and a lot of the time people pin that down to the fact that there's no goal anymore. I don't think that is the case necessarily. If that is the case, stop bodybuilding. The goal's never finished. But basically, if you imagine you increase your food, your hunger signaling does go wild. And again, that's not an excuse. Like, people aren't saying that because they're like, want an excuse to eat like shit. It is true. You know, your ghrelin and leptin throughout your bodybuilding journey, throughout a prep, it can get almost like muted, like pushed down. So when you start eating more again, your hunger signaling starts to return. So what I've really noticed this week, I have been ravenous.
It's always before bed as well.
Before bed, I'm getting stomach pain where I'm actually having to like lie in a fetal position. The unfortunate part of that is, at this moment in time, it is preventing me to sleep. That does happen at the end of prep anyway, but yeah, it's probably the most hungry that I've been this whole prep. Ron's bought a toy. Come here then. Very serious education. It's probably the most hungry that I have been this prep. And in essence though, if you imagine, I was going to go through this anyway, but I was going to go through this potentially post-show. When again, the temptation is probably not the right word, but more temptation is there. You know, you're potentially going out for more meals, you've got more freedom. So I'm basically doing post-show, but still with this goal, and I'm obviously not going to slip on my food. So having 6 weeks where by the time I get to actual post-show, my hunger signaling will, I'm not going to say be completely normal, but it will dampen for sure. So post-show will be easier.
Yeah, it also makes the peaking process really easy for Cooper because like even last week going into your show, he was just able to run. Really. No, he was able to just run the same food Monday or when you start reversing through till Thursday, and then Friday the only adjustment he made was he reduced vegetable volume because that's normal, and then Saturday it was pretty much the same food but raisins and
slightly amended amounts
based on stage time.
But yeah,
like this week it's just been the same food all week. There's been no stress because the look's solidified. And it's improving, so why change anything? Yeah. But that's only earned through being in shape and allowing your body to do this.
And a final kind of point on that is as well the reason that this has been made possible, and something that I did do last season, but the seasons before I didn't do, but I honestly couldn't recommend it more, is not having off-plan meals post-show. Because when you do, you do end up having to almost catch up for days, maybe even a week after that show. Whereas you just go back to your normal food post-show, you're able to put yourself into such a good position.
Yeah, like it's not like a badge of honor or
No.
anything, but you haven't had any off-plan meals for your entirety of prep.
For 34 weeks.
And it's only benefited you. Like you say, you finish your show and Q was like, okay, back to baseline meals. You come home, you have your buckwheat, you go to bed. You wake up the next day, he'll just say, cool, baseline food, but just don't move.
Yeah.
Because it means Monday you can just get back to the goal, rather than if you had an off-plan meal, even if you had a moderate off-plan meal, but it was something that didn't agree with you because for 30 plus weeks you've had this hyper-restricted diet, you could go and have something really clean, like a seafood pasta at an Italian restaurant, but it still fuck you up, cause bloating, water retention, all sorts, because sodium and everything, and it could put you back 3, 4, 5 days. And
then the other side of it is like, I do feel like having a post-show meal, and what I'm understanding more now anyway, is that it just opens the window anyway. So like you have, say, brownies and things, I would say your cravings are going to be higher because you've just, like I've used the word, like you've opened Pandora's box, haven't you?
Yeah, the food focus heightens because you've had a bit of something. If you just don't have it, you don't miss it.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that is, I would say, the kind of why as to why you would reverse and the positives that do come like off the back of it. But we are gonna go train. It's pre-time. I'm currently taking turbo pump and tank mode. Energy and muscle, 365 nutrition, team pose with Hannah, 10 for discount. And we're gonna go get after it. Gonna go smash upper. What are you training?
I've got push, so I'm doing my really heavy incline set. You know, last week was the rep one.
Yeah. If you haven't gone and seen Nat's YouTube, last week's push day, raw training. Ronnie's just stealing the show.
He's being cuddly, isn't he? He's always really, for a working line dog, he's dopey as fuck in the morning, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a very sleepy puppy. But let's get after it.
He's like, fuck off.
Go on. So, we are going with 15 grams and 25 grams in with the intra. No, the pre. Wait a minute.
I'm going with 30 Peruvian grams of carbohydrates.
You can get your hand in that one.
Yeah, it's quite handy. Some of this. Hannah won this. She can't have it, so I'm having it. It's blue raspberry flavoured creatine. It tastes like the little slush puppies you had when you were a kid.
Yeah, it's a note. Can Federation stop giving away supplements now?
Don't stop, it's great.
Can I have something else?
She got Transformers whey protein.
It's actually, it came with a toy.
It came with a toy.
It came with a toy.
EAAs.
Look at me just downing this in the corner like a champ. And what's the pre?
I'm going to try the sample thing that she won. The Transformers pre-workout and the fuck ton of pumpage. That'll do.
You
Do
can
you need me
just
to move?
crop most of this out. Do you know what I mean? So it's like So, intra for me is scoop.
I'm not cutting that.
Scoop of glutamine, scuba creatine. I also have these Pon Wake. So this will be like my second serving of the day. And then I have 15 of unflavoured, of course, into carb. So it's going down. So we take our post-workout with us. So we've packed all that to go. But I just wanted to show you my spoon. Because this is my spoon. not going to feel your tricep from here. So like, down first, set into the tricep, and then keep that tension in the tricep. Post-workout shenanigans. So this is 75 rice, 98 chicken, and 150 berries. So, meal 5 going down. I don't know what it is.
It's 30 grams of rice.
30 grams of rice.
30 grams of chicken.
90 grams of chicken, right? 100 gram of veg and 100 grams of berries.
What's going on here? Is this imperative to Pigwick? You wagging?
This is a part that I wanted to speak about, and it's gonna almost be a little bit difficult for me because I don't usually like to like moan or anything, but the past 2 days I've more so struggled than a lot of prep with how I look. So you're gonna have to be a bit patient with me because sometimes I'm not very good at articulating how I like feel, but that's another story. So in essence, I actually wanted to film this yesterday, but I couldn't. I just was very mute. I was very numb. So basically, with it being the reverse, eating more food, my training, obviously I've spoken about like the massive positives that come from the reverse and how I do feel within myself in my training. However, my post-workout visuals, I only like my fasted check-ins. My post-workout visuals I'm not really enjoying. And that's like the first time really that I felt like that, and I'm 34 weeks into prep. Typically, I'm just like, well, it's not my job to care, send it off. Or I'm like, oh yeah, I'm flat, so it's fine, like I'll fill out when I need to. But because it's almost the opposite, where like my midsection is something that really does mentally get to me. I know my midsection isn't, it's not a strength, to say the least. So whenever I feel like that's blowing, whenever I feel like that's getting wider, you know, I've gone from kind of having an even tighter midsection to now not so much. That being said, I also know that how I'm feeling, how I'm observing myself right now is probably quite warped, because what's going through my head is the almost panic of, I'm going backwards. I worked so hard to get into this condition. My next couple of weeks, my next couple of shows are the most important ones. Why would I want to be going backwards? So that's quite normal, realistically, when you look at it. Like, that's quite normal to feel that way. But in essence, week to week, I'm the same body weight but fuller, and I have to just keep repeating to myself, if I'm fuller and the same body weight, I must be leaner, right? The look's fresher, Kuba's so happy, Nat's happy. Those are the two voices that I listen to, really. So even my own voice, there's times where I have to not listen to it. Now, why I say that it's quite difficult for me to kind of speak about that is because, yeah, like, I'm not someone that struggles, right? Like, I have, without getting the violins out, I've been through so much in life that a prep is not difficult, right? Being hungry is not difficult because it is by choice. I've been hungry not by choice, right? I've been like homeless. I've been working like 4 jobs at the same time. So being tired is just by choice, is just not difficult. So I do usually have quite a positive outlook, regardless of if I'm tired or hungry. And I have been extremely happy that this whole period, this whole prep. So when I do slightly struggle, then I'm almost a bit disappointed in myself for struggling. But saying that, I don't even know what 34 times 7 is. But, you know, 2 days out of all those days, I think I'm doing all right. I just need to be a bit kind to myself. And what I've been able to start doing over the past, I'd say, year, is actually sit with those feelings instead of always trying to fix them. You know, I think as humans, we are very keen to try and always fix a feeling. And yeah, so that's why I've just actually allowed myself over the last 2 days to just feel and like be okay with the fact that I'm not necessarily as confident in myself or the look, because this is a new element to the process, like that I've not done before. So when you're doing something you've not done before, sometimes you're going to feel ways you haven't felt before or experience challenges you haven't experienced. So I'm almost allowing these new feelings, these new challenges, and I'm sitting with them and I'm processing them. And yeah, I'm obviously going into this show this weekend. And I was, before I went into this slight different mental blip, I was so excited for it. And I still am, obviously. I'm going to say deep down, but not even deep down, like an inch deep. I'm still so excited. So I'm actually presenting in both figure and women's physique for NPC this weekend. And that for me is going to be getting the feedback so that they can tell me where they think that I fit. So it's NPC Naturals. So, you know, the reason why I didn't go into women's physique necessarily originally was because if you do think about the big boy leagues, then I obviously wouldn't stand a chance. But I have been inspired by Trish, Chelsea, the two natural athletes that were at the Olympia this year. I'm not saying that that is something that I would ever be able to achieve. I'm not delusional. But, you know, I'm 29 and I've been living this life now, like weightlifting anyway, since I was 15. And I don't see myself slowing down anytime soon. So what's 10 more years? Like, what could you do in 10 more years? So why not see if the judges feel like my structure suits women's physique better? And that could be the goal for in 10 years time, right? But so I'm very much looking forward to it. It does mean being on stage twice. It means also being able to do a routine. Another new routine, of course, which again, really excited to do. I've done almost every single routine as different personalities, different genres, different meanings, different flows. So I'm excited to go back on stage and to do that again. But yeah, for right now, I am most definitely staying covered up. Just because if you are someone that does struggle, say mentally with like, oh, am I ready? Am I lean enough? Like, just don't look, right? Like, I've just basically I've done my check-ins and post-workout pictures and videos for when Cuba needs them. And other than that, I'm just covering up because it's just not my job. If I wasn't happy with the look, I wouldn't change anything unless Cuba said it. So there's absolutely 0 point in me even assessing it, right? But I'm sure I will be over this weird mental blip. But I'm really looking forward to the weekend. It's actually Nat's birthday on Saturday. He's training at the minute, and then I'm gonna go pick him up. But it's his birthday, and yet he's there with me at a show. You know, you can't really ask for much more. But I've got a few surprises for him. And I've booked 2 nights at the Airbnb instead of the one, and it's got like a fire pit and it's like a really cute converted barn, and so we're going to be able to actually, you know, celebrate him after all the support that he has given me, not even just in prep but just since the beginning. So yeah, lots to look forward to, and then it won't be long until we go to America. But I hope that this has been a helpful YouTube video watch along, you know, showing kind of all aspects to the reverse, and like the positives, the negatives, the facts, and the thoughts. I am obviously keeping more frequent updates over on Instagram, so head over to there, and in the broadcast channel more than anything. I do pretty much daily updates there, so I hope you did enjoy it. If you do have any questions, of course, or if you'd like anything for us to cover, then please let us know in the comments down below. But we're really loving doing these as well. Just shows little glimpses of our little life, basically. But we will see you in the next one. And whatever it is you're doing this weekend, go and have the best time and go fucking kill it.